Good. How about you guys?
Good.
Good.
What is it like to play one of the classic characters in literature?
Amazing. It's an honor to be portraying one of the most iconic characters.
Actually, no, Immortals is
My
45.
just to start off with a little point. I mean, like one of the reasons why I signed on to the film, because when my grandfather was a child, he was traveling. He had to leave his home, and he was traveling to China, and he grew up in China, and he didn't have much to take with him. So, one of the only books that he took with him was one of his favorites, which was The Three Musketeers. So, now, thinking about that and being able to do something that, really means something for my family, like my grandfather, and being able to portray one of his favorite characters is an honor just in itself for that reason.
There were the two most recent interpretations of D'Artagnan were from Chris O'Donnell, which was a more family-friendly version, and then Justin Chambers, which was a more mature interpretation. How do you feel your interpretation of the character will differ from the previous roles? And
It's much more badass. We wanted to up the action and definitely give it a cooler spin, a well-deserved cooler spin. This isn't it's nothing that anybody's going to expect when thinking about the long line of D'Artagnans and how how much older they were than the character too. So we wanted to get someone who was around. I mean, at least Paul and the creative team wanted to get someone who's closer to the actual age of the character, because he's 18 in the novel. And you expect a badass D'Artagnan who actually is the most dangerous character of the film, because nobody knows who he is when he comes to the city from a small town, and he's trying to prove himself. So he's prove himself to become a musketeer. So in that sense, he's the most dangerous character.
Well, I know you're talking about a lot of action, so I'm curious about weapons training.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think I had the most fight scenes in the film, I could say. So I wanted to make sure that D'Artagnan looks like a badass with a sword. And in this, in fencing, and it's such a detailed sport that I wanted to make sure that it looked right, and we can please fencers all around the world as well. So I trained for, I was guessing, maybe like 8-9 months. I had a lot of time before filming. And I wanted to, right when I found out that I was doing it, I was training immediately. And throughout filming every day, we were, any free time, in between takes or lunch breaks, we'd be, me and the stunt team of the film, be training for hours and hours a day.
Did your work on The Lightning Thief maybe help at all with the training?
You know what? I guess a little bit, just for that like nervous feeling of when you're about to start an action sequence, it made me more comfortable knowing that I've done action before. But comparing Percy Jackson's action to this one, it's like this is in a whole different league of sword play, you could say. It's way more detailed and way more dangerous and way more real, and it's going to blow people away.
Was the training mostly sword fighting, or did you also have like hand to hand? Did you have any?
Mostly sword fighting, and a little hand to hand.
Yeah.
It's just all around, I guess, but it's mostly sword fighting.
Yeah.
D'Artagnan's supposed to be the best, swordsman of the group, and he's supposed to be the most wild, insane swordsman as well. So we tried to give him, I tried to make a specific style for him that was different than everybody else's style. So we all kind of started developing, all the musketeers started developing specific styles so that you can really differentiate between the characters, so it's not just standard sword fighting every time.
Did you guys do some training together?
Oh yeah. We did months together. I mean, we were all training throughout filming, but before we started, we trained for about 2 months together, I'm guessing. Yeah, about 2 months together, and then before that I was training for like 2.5 to 3 months.
With Percy Jackson, you've got myths, and with this one, you've got a period piece. What do you want to do next? Do you want to do something in this area, or do you want to go a little more modern?
Well, I'm doing a film after this. We start shooting in about a month or so. And yeah, it's completely different. It's this book that I fell in love with as a child. It's just made a big impact on me growing up, and now that I'm a part of it, it's amazing. It's called Perks of Being a Wallflower, coming of age drama, dramedy. I don't know what you would call it. It's just life, but yeah, an epic, a life epic. But yeah, it's a little bit different. There's no action in that. There's going to be no sword fighting.
The Musketeers trailer, there's this sort of steampunk vibe. I was wondering if you could speak to the more fantastical elements in the movie.
Yeah, well, everybody's asking, what's different about this Musketeers film than all the other Musketeers films that have been made, and what audiences, should expect something different, obviously, but it's a more contemporary version. It's the untold chapter where the Musketeers are weaponry experts, and they're kind of looked at as being the James Bonds of their time. With gadgets and little gizmos and fun things instead of just sword fighting, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It makes for a lot of fun and a whole different element and a whole different twist to the other Musketeers films.
Can you talk a bit about working with Paul W.S. Anderson as director?
Oh yeah, made everybody really comfortable. Knowing that he is I'd say one of the masters of 3D filmmaking out there. After watching The Last Resident Evil, it all made us really comfortable knowing that he knows exactly what he's doing and he's going to make us all look good, but we're just going to pull our weight and, make our characters, something the audience can really invest in, and yeah, it was great working with him. A lot of fun.
How would you describe the sets you're on? Because Anderson's kind of known for using a lot of CGI-heavy sets, or augmenting the sets. Were you on full sets, or? And
that's the best part about this film. What really gives it a good, visual taste. Is that we shot in all these real locations throughout Germany, where these old castle sets and everything. It's all real. It's nothing really. A lot of the time, you didn't really have to recreate anything on CG, so. It gives it an insane budget if you were to create that on a set or something. So thank you to the German government for letting us shoot at these amazing locations, and it adds so much to the film.
Have you hit the floor yet?
Have I hit the floor yet?
Downstairs.
Oh no. I'm sure it's going to be nuts. I have no idea what to expect.
No. You've never done anything like this before?
No. I've always wanted to go to Comic-Con or Wondercon, and I'm from LA, so I've never actually traveled to one of the events. But I'm a geek in that sense. I love that. Sure. And anytime there's a film or anything, or any kind of panel in Los Angeles, I'm always one of the guys in the audience, listening to the Q&As. So this is much bigger than those, though. So I'm excited to see what it's going to be like.
What have been some of your favorite gadgets? If you can even talk about some of your favorite gadgets to use.
Yeah, I'm thinking what are their names? What do you call the thing that just pops? I have no idea, but there's flamethrowers, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of stuff I can't even give them a name really, but a lot of stuff that you have not seen before, and yeah, it's going to blow people away.
Did you work with a flamethrower?
Did I? No, I didn't. Matthew McFadden did. Yeah, and even in the trailer you can see him using this old school flamethrower, and it's cool.
Bit of jealousy there? Or you didn't get that?
There was a lot of jealousy there.
Yeah.
But I got to do some cool stuff as well.
What about working with Christoph Waltz and Orlando Bloom? How was that?
It was awesome. They're fantastic actors, and when working with Christoph Waltz and how incredibly talented he is, it's ups your performance as well, because acting, I've always said this is it's like a tennis match. So if you play opposite a great component, you're going to have a better game and more fun to play off of somebody who's so talented. So it was a lot of fun to work with all of them.
How much interaction in the film do you have with them?
A little.
Okay.
A little bit. Christoph, worked more with the royalty in the film.
Right.
So we had a few scenes together and stuff, but it was still fun. It was a lot of fun.
One more question.
Well, I heard recently that Percy Jackson 2 was greenlit, and I'm curious where things in progression with that. When do you start shooting, and do you know if anyone's coming back?
To be honest, I know nothing about it really. I don't really know anything. I know just as much as you guys.
All right.
I haven't heard anything, but I'm excited to hear more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you.